Hey, welcome back to Nia's Divine Garden, the podcast. Happy New Year. This is Dania, and I felt this is a fitting message to begin the new year. Let's talk about setting intentions, manifesting on January 1st as opposed to the beginning of spring with the spring equinox. This is a conversation that I've heard every year since I've gone through my conscious awakening. And because of the way my practice is, I decided I wanted to do more research. For me, it's not enough to say, oh, you have to move with nature. And so the only way to operate with nature is to set new intentions for spring because there's nothing new growing in the winter. So, being the Aquarius that I am, I decided to go and research that and see if people who set intentions in the winter, late fall, January, are they working in alignment with nature even at all? What I found is that they just actually may be. And this is why speaking in extremes about what you can and you can't do when it comes to your spiritual practice, I try to lean away from. I try to operate in a way where, one, this is about what is aligned to you. What is aligned to you and how you are working with your spiritual team. Two, the nature around you, because nature, Mother Nature, in her vastness, in her limitless, in her abundant expression, is also not exactly the same in every part of the world, not even what a part of the country, not even every part of the city. So to make a blanket statement that no one should be manifesting or setting intentions on January 1st, honestly is, in my opinion, incorrect and misleading. You are forgetting about the people who live in warmer climates where planting seeds year round is actually a thing. They have things growing and flourishing in the winter because they don't get that same type of dormancy that some people get in colder areas. And this is not necessarily related to the warming of the planet. The planet has not had the same climate across the entirety of it ever. It's never been the thing. So that means the notion that someone can't plant seeds at a specific time because this calendar, you don't agree with this calendar. So, well, a couple of the plants that I saw that you can literally plant them in the winter. Like you can put them in the soil in the winter. They're slow growing plants. They can deal with colder climates and they will grow and actually be ready for harvest in the springtime. Onions, garlic, there are a few pansies, there are even flowers. So these things are growing through the winter, just slow growing and ready for harvest in the springtime. So the idea that you can't plant a new seed and see that seed grow and flourish, to me, is not about the weather or the season. It is about alignment. And are they planting what is in alignment with them at that time? See, if for I will use myself as an example. So we're going, this 2023 is a 7 year. This is a year of spiritual awakenings. This is a year of being level-headed and grounded. This is a year of knowing when to surrender and knowing the things that are above your spiritual pay grade. For me personally, this is a 1 year. This is a 1 year. This is a year of new. This is the year of new. All this year ain't nothing gonna be new but new stuff happening for me this year. So am I going to plant seeds regarding things that are old, or am I going to allow myself to be open to the change and shifts that are going to happen because new things are going to be coming for me? So if I'm setting intentions, the intentions that I'm setting can be around allowing myself to flow through the changes that are going to come to me this year with ease, to not be swept up by the winds of change, but standing in the calm of the eye of any potential storms, unharmed, unscathed, and getting the lessons and things and blessings that I need aligned to ease. If there's some new things that I want to see, new projects, this is a great year for me to start those new projects. Chances are I would have been thinking about those new projects in October because October always foreshadows the year ahead. So when you talk about don't plant seeds, don't set intentions in the winter, that part is not necessarily something I can resonate because I was also born in the winter. This is the time that I'm gearing up for my solar return. This is the time that I'm gearing up for illumination and shining. This is the time I'm gearing up for newness. So once again, for me personally, energetically and aligned to nature as nature is working with me, this is my time to plant seeds and get ready for something new. Now, if you were born in the spring, then I can see where you may put your longer term goal seeds in the ground in the winter so that by the time your solar return comes, you are, you're birthing with your birthday the newness that you set intentions for in the wintertime. I can also see where that is the time that you choose to align with planting new seeds because this is a time of new birth. But to say that everyone needs to be doing it exactly the same way and that they're doing something and it's not aligned, you have to know what's aligned for you. Always. This is always about what is aligned to you. If the expression of the Most High was supposed to be identical for everyone, it would be. God don't make no mistakes. Isn't that what we say? God don't make no mistakes. So it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. So there is a reason beyond our own understanding as to why the Most High allowed, because at the end of the day, anything that has occurred has been allowed. That's just being honest. Good, bad, indifferent. Anything that has occurred has been allowed. So if it was not prevented, if this new calendar was not prevented for us to be experiencing time in this way, why? Why? Did it matter? That's the other thing is, does it matter? Does the fact that we have this calendar and the calendar may not be aligned with the seasons and things of that nature, and spring is a time of birth, is a time of things being born. That means the seed was already planted. Let me just say that again. It is a time of rebirth. That means the seeds were planted already. The seeds were already planted. The seeds were in the ground. The seeds were germinating. They were maybe have been like slowly. It doesn't, and that dormancy doesn't mean nothing is happening. It's just not happening quickly. You are planting seeds throughout the year because there are different times of harvest throughout the year. When you plant your seeds in the spring, you will harvest them in the fall. Like there's just different points within the entire year that certain things are meant to be planted so they can be harvested at certain times of the year. This is why even in my ebook for the moon, I say that you can plant a seed in the waning moon cycle. You absolutely can plant a seed, but it may take more work to get that seed to grow. It's not that the ground is completely infertile, it's just not as fertile. It's not as moist. It's not as nutrient rich during that cycle of the moon as it is during the new moon. But we have new and full moons throughout the entire year. That means all year long there's opportunities for newness. All year long, there's opportunities for planting new seeds because the moon is making it so. The moon is saying, okay, every month you're going to get some fertile ground. Every month. It doesn't like, oh no, December, we're not going to do any fertile ground. Nothing's going to grow. Otherwise, we wouldn't have evergreen trees. Collard greens. I didn't know this because I haven't started my garden yet, but I learned that collard greens can withstand frost. They can withstand a frost. What are collard greens, especially in my community? One of the things we use them for. New Year's Day to eat because they're green. They're leafy. Like what? That's why we eat them. They're green. They're also good for the heart chakra. They're green and they're with fiber, so they're good for cleansing and releasing, making room for newness. And this is something that grows and flourishes through the winter. So when you speak on the idea that planting seeds, setting intentions don't work for people, oh, their New Year's resolutions don't work because they're not supposed to be doing it then. Maybe they're setting the wrong resolutions. Maybe the resolutions that they're setting are not in alignment with their energetic signature at the time. And because they don't really understand their own energy, they don't know what resolutions to set. So they set what ego tells them to set. Ego tells them you need to lose weight So we're gonna make a New Year's resolution to go to the gym more. When this may be a time for them to be working on partnerships and connections. This may be a time for them to love the body as is, be in love with their physical vessel as it is right now. Because if you're saying negative things about your physical vessel now, you're never going to get a new vessel because you don't like your vessel. The momentum that you're giving the universe is, I hate my body. So maybe that is the resolution they should be setting. They just are simply setting the wrong resolutions. It's not that the resolution's timing is off, the resolution itself is off. So, my inspired action for you today, as you close out this podcast and you're moving through the energy of this new year, is to define and learn what your soul, your spirit resonates in terms of your spiritual practice. Don't solely go off of what everyone else is telling you. These are a way, but the way will always come back to you and the experience that your soul chose to have in this life. Make sure that your vision, your intentions, your aspirations for the year are in alignment with what your soul journey is supposed to be for that year. Make sure it is in alignment with your personal mission. Make sure it is in alignment with your core values. If you don't know what these things are, if you need help with doing those things, I have a whole course on mission, vision, and values on a personal level. I can help you with your spiritual practice. These are things that I can help you with. But even if it is not me, this is something you need to do for yourself. Whether you do this with the guidance of a mentor and elder or you do this on your own. But you will continue to not get the success, not because you're simply planting the seeds at the wrong time. You may be planting the wrong seeds. Your ground wants this kind of seed. You keep trying to plant this other fruit. That other fruit's not trying to grow because it's not meant for you to grow that fruit right now. You're supposed to be growing lemons and you're trying to grow apples. You're not supposed to be doing that. And so once you learn what you are supposed to be growing, you will find that that will grow fast and with ease because that is in alignment with the energy you're in right now and what your soul is wanting to grow. It's not about not having free will. You can continue to try to grow them apples, and them apples may grow, but they may take a longer time to grow. It may be harder work to grow. You may have to go through some things to get those apples to grow, whereas the lemons are already grown in your spiritual garden. All you got to do is plant the seed and then they can manifest in your physical world with ease because that is what your soul wants to grow. You still have a choice. You always have free will. You got a choice. You could go to what old boy said, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. So with that, I say Ashe. Thank you so much. Whether you are actually listening to this on the podcast now that we are back in the podcast season, if you are watching this on YouTube, I just want to say thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you for sharing. This helps me to grow. By sharing, by liking, by putting it out there for others to come in, you allow others who are looking for my energy to find me. So thank you so much for allowing Spirit to work through you in that way. And I pray that you have a wonderful, joyous, and abundantly aligned New Year. Take care.